Hello, hello, loves. Naomi Fox Reyna here, light-filled astrology and human design teacher. And today I want to talk to you about how it is that you find things in your natal chart when there's something going on in the sky. Like right now, we have the April 8th eclipse coming up, and that is going to show up somewhere in your particular chart. It's not just an event that we're all having, and it is something that is going to show up somewhere in your natal chart so that you can see how this actually is affecting you. And like Mercury retrograde, it just went retrograde yesterday. If you want to see where that's at in your chart, let me show you. It's pretty simple. Okay, so here I just whipped up a chart on Astro Charts. This is typically the software that I use for people who are learning because it is free. It is very easy to access. You don't even need to create an account to use it. Overall, I really like this software, but there's definitely a few things about it that drive me a little bit crazy as a professional astrologer. But on the whole, this is my favorite one for directing people to when they're first learning. So when it is that you hear a degree point in an event that's happening or a transit that's going on, that's the part that you want to remember. And then you can take that to your natal chart. So we're going to pretend Susie Q is a real person. She was born out in Kansas, April 2nd, 1977 at 11:11 a.m. And so you can see all the stuff that's going on here. And if you're new to astrology, this can be a little bit overwhelming, but it's okay. So this upcoming event that we're having at the time of recording this is the April 8th eclipse that is happening at 19 degrees, 24 minutes of Aries. And so when you're looking at your chart, you would look for where is Aries in the chart? And we can see here, it's right at the top. And you can see there's a few other things going on here in Aries, and we're going to see where the eclipse is going to happen. So the most basic thing you need to know is that with astrology charts, they move counterclockwise. So they always start at this ascendant line, ASC, also known as the rising sign. That will always be at the 9 o'clock hour of a chart. And then it moves counterclockwise all the way around, and it starts with the first house here, second house, third house in counterclockwise fashion. So that means 0 degrees of Aries is right here at the beginning of Aries if the beginning is counterclockwise going, and the end of Aries is when it's in between Aries and Taurus. So this would be the 29-degree mark of Aries, and then you go to 0 degrees of Taurus here. And so you can see the flow of how the energy moves. All these planets are moving in this counterclockwise fashion around and around and around. So at the moment that you have the 19-degree eclipse, you can kind of see 19 degrees is about 2/3 of the way through a 30-degree slice. So if you're kind of eyeballing it, you can see that it's probably just on the other side of this Venus. But here on these charts, since they don't display the degrees right on the chart, you can scroll down and there's always this list here. And so we can see Venus is at 18 degrees, 33 minutes. And because I've been looking at charts so long, I know that that is right about 19 degrees. So yes, it's this eclipse would be right next to this person's Venus sign. So it will be conjunct her Venus. And it's happening in the 10th house. You can't really see the number 10 underneath of here because of all the lines crossing over. But this person will be experiencing this eclipse right next to her Venus in the 10th house. So that's step one, is just being able to understand like where it's happening and is it interacting with anything else in the chart. So because we can see that, you can basically take everything you know about the eclipse and apply it to, say this is you, the Venus placement in Aries. So it's like, okay, Venus in Aries, that equals fire and passion and intensity being Aries, and Venus is intimate relationships, money, love, things like that. So you can take all of those, they're like puzzle pieces that just link together. And I understand that it's overwhelming, and it's really helpful to have somebody who understands this stuff to explain it to you. But if you're just trying to get the most basics, this is a good way to go. I also 10 out of 10 recommend a one-on-one session. I, of course, do one-on-one sessions, but I mainly dedicate my time to my light-filled astrology students. And I have several top recommended light-filled astrologers that are certified by me that are on my website that you can go and you can book a session with, and all of them can explain this to you about where things are happening in your chart and how to understand your chart better so that when these events happen, you know where they're going on in your chart. Additionally, we have Mercury just went retrograde at 27 degrees of Aries. So the eclipse is at 19 degrees Aries, which we know is right here next to Venus. Here, let's increase this a little bit so we can see it. So we have 19 degrees of Aries is about here. Well, 27 degrees is going to be right about here. And we know that Mercury is going to go retrograde back across most of Aries. So this person is going to experience Mercury going retrograde back across their Venus, back across their sun sign, and then back again. So this person is having a very 10th house experience with the eclipse and Mercury retrograde both happening inside of their 10th house for them. And then after Mercury goes direct, then they'll have their Mercury return because Mercury is here in their natal chart. And then Mercury will come back across and kind of meet up with and have that little conversation, that Mercury return energy when Mercury returns to the point that it is in the chart. And if you want to just verify those degrees, you can see Mercury, this person's Mercury is at 29 degrees. And so Mercury retrograde is only going to go to 27 degrees and then turn backwards and then come back across. So it won't be for about another probably month and a half, even though Mercury is only 2 degrees away right now from where this person's at. And you know that just in your head, you know that Mercury is at 27 degrees Aries. But once Mercury goes all the way back and all the way forward again, then it will cross over this Mercury natal point for this person and then keep going. So that's a lot of information that you can see that can begin to unpack how this person might be experiencing the current things that are going on. And you can apply this to anything. If you're on my email list, I send out a free transit email every single week, handwritten by me with my thoughts as a light-filled astrologer about what's going on with the transits so that you can be best prepared. So when I drop the degree points in there, you can review this video to see how it is that that is going to be affecting you in your chart. I hope that was so helpful. I am just sending you so much love. These things can be a little bit overwhelming, but if you're like me, I know I felt very strongly that I needed to understand these things and be able to learn how to apply them so that they could actually benefit my life in a very practical way. And that's my teaching style. That's what I've got. I have a totally free mini course if you want to get into this about the foundations of light-filled astrology and light-filled human design. I think that it's pretty excellent, and I would love for you to come check it out. I've just got a whole world here of amazing things and would love to have you join us. If you're loving this type of content, please like and subscribe so that you can be sure to catch everything and maybe even consider turning on that bell so you don't miss a single video.